And it is Thursday evening, everyone, and hope y'all are having a great day. One more day to the weekend, and I know everybody's getting ready for a weekend. I know CJ's going to Fan Expo.
Mm-hmm.
So
and I will get the opportunity to meet my number one. I'm getting his autograph on Sunday. For those who may not know who my number one is, you have not been paying attention.
I know. It's been on every show, I think. But I know.
Find out if you know who it is, and we'll see if you're right.
The heat is just completely exhausting here in Houston. I do like heat, but usually it's not this temperature until July here. So it's a big difference. My body didn't have the chance to actually warm up to this.
No, and it's been this way for like weeks. It's like I come inside, my face is as red as a tomato.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Definitely.
Just not right. It's not even July.
Right. It's scary about August.
Yes.
I mean, we're already on hell's front porch. What's it going to be in July and August?
Mm-hmm. True. Just so y'all know, our Tuesday morning show next week, we have Mom Birella coming on, and it is going to strictly be Comic Palooza. So we're talking nothing but Comic Palooza on that show. Unless we have a funny Amy moment or CJ moment that we can all pick up. Hey, Russell. So definitely looking forward to that. And of course, Comic Palooza just announced 3 more guests. If you are a Stargate fan, yes, Michael Shanks is going to be there.
One of my holy grails. Still working on that one. Trust me, it may happen now.
And thank you, William, for sharing. But we are going to be talking props, and we have a prop designer with us today, Chris Elric. Of course, we'll get more prop designers on. I don't think we've really had enough cosplayers or prop designers on the show, so we definitely need to get more of that being a convention podcast. So welcome, Chris, and if you can, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you. Well, as you said, I'm Chris Elric. And I'm a mathematician turned prop maker. And I've been perhaps a maker since I was in kindergarten when my dad brought home a set where you could make, say, an alarm, a bell alarm, mechanical. You could make a generator, an EMF detector. And anyway, it was basic circuitry. So I learned basic circuitry as a kindergartner. And then I took that and rigged it up to the door because I have 2 younger siblings, and I thought it would be funny to make the alarm that we had built have a tripwire. Anyway, so the alarm would go off whenever some may say that. But it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun catching my sisters in the act. So anyway, I've been making ever since. And I guess I started to get more serious about it when I was in junior high, and I made my first proton pack. So that was Mach 1. And I'm presently designing all of the Ghostbuster accoutrement for Ghostbuster enthusiasts, and the ones that I have built are rather unique, as all the things that I intend to build will be. So I have a pretty robust build ethos. I think the market is saturated with makers who can do precision one-to-one props, and that's wonderful. I get a big kick out of watching those makers do their craft. That's not really what I'm about. It's not what the Elric Alchemy Lab is about. We're about making props sufficiently movie accurate that are robust, which is to say, there should be some expectation that you can drop this thing on concrete, pick it up, and play with it again. And if you can't, I have a robust warranty. Send it back, and we fix it because we believe in play. We think it is a very important. It's important for good mental hygiene. It's important for kids to not learn how to grow out of playing, which I think is a big problem with our youth, as they forget to play, or perhaps some haven't learned. And so I want to foster an intergenerational play zeitgeist to the small extent that I can by opening shop.
I was going to say, are you going to open like almost like a laser tag version, but something like that for kids?
I have ideas that are along that line. More augmented reality than laser tag, but I love that idea.
Kind of like that sort of thing. Just kids can go and just play with whatever you got going on.
Well, for Ghostbusters, of course, they have the goggles, right? And the goggles that I would like to do, the goggles are still in R&D. But the goggles I'd like to do is if you have them down over you, they talk to the proton pack, and you would see a stream. You'd see a ghost, and then interact with fellow Ghostbusters. And this is not a technically difficult thing to program. I mean, you could do it with an Arduino and various peripherals.
And then every once in a while, get them slimed.
I'm sorry.
They get slimed once in a while.
Yeah. Maybe that can be like a point system or something. I don't know.
I knew this says ghosts. Where? Well, we were talking about ghosts earlier, but
yes.
Where Ghostbusters came up. But yeah, just like a big playland for kids. Like certain things had different themes. I think that would be a blast.
Oh yeah. Ghostbusters is where I'm starting. Star Wars will be next. I have.
If you make a real lightsaber, I want dibs.
It won't. Regrettably, it won't be real. I wish I could make some sort of guarantee that one day. Now, I think you got to go to Hacksmith. I think they have a better. I think they're more likely to do it first. But anyway, no. This again, just like any prop that I intend to make, these are meant to be used and abused to a certain extent. Now, of course, there are all kinds of sabersmiths you can buy from, and they all basically, in my view, have up to homomorphism. That's math speak for kind of equivalent way of doing things. I want to redesign the whole thing from the ground up, and I can give some details without saying too much because I'm in the process. We're working with my IP lawyer about the matter. But one of the problems, even with the best lightsabers, is the unidirectional speaker. It's necessarily unidirectional because it's in the housing, the hilt. And so if you're behind it and you've got a good build and a good speaker, you can really hear it. I mean, it sounds real. It's kind of got a wicked sound. But unless you're the user, you lose all of that. And there's a way to make that more immersive. There's another way. And sound is one of those things that I'm going to address.
Very nice.
So did you go to school for any of this, or you just kind of...
No, I went to school just to be a pure mathematician. My dad would have preferred that I be a engineer. And I guess I am now. So he got what he wanted in the end.
Well, engineering and math do kind of go together because you
Yeah,
do have to have the
they
math for it.
that's absolutely true, but crossing the chasm from pure to applied math has been an adventure unto itself. Certainly one that has coincided with the starting of this business.
Math makes my brain hurt. I'm not gonna lie, it makes my brain hurt. So bless your heart.
You know what? It makes mine hurt too.
Okay, I don't feel so bad.
Don't feel bad.
It's kind of like a math problem, and it's like 4 cats plus 6 popsicles. How many are on the roof? That's what it looks like to me. I don't know.
That wouldn't be a bad abstract algebra problem, but anyway.
No, that's just what my brain does. So, if you didn't go to school, you just kind of developed it a little bit at a time. You've got is it Eric Alchemy? Is that
Elric.
Elric Alchemy. And
what made you start that?
I'm sorry?
What made you start that?
Yeah, there was a few motivations. One was the appeal to my childhood desire to build. But perhaps the most important reason is my son. He's 4. Very much, goodness, it's a blast playing with him, but it's getting harder to keep up. But I have had so much fun introducing him into the worlds that blew my mind, when I was his age. And if I'm going to have this ethos of, generational play, and that I want to contribute to that being a part of our zeitgeist, then I need to be an exemplar of that. So I see my building, I guess engineering would have been a better word, and my time spent with him as fundamentally linked, inextricable. And I wanted to have more time with him as he grows up. And I think the best way to do that is to never stop playing.
Like it.
So, yeah, that was a big motivation.
What's the most difficult and intricate thing you've ever done so far?
Say again. I'm sorry, I'm hard of hearing.
That's okay. What's the most difficult and intricate thing that you've done to this point?
A lightsaber. Difficult because the wiring tends to be rather unmanageable in such a narrow space. And the ones that I've done so far, I call it digital articulation, meaning I want to be able to spin them around like they do in the movies. So that makes the channel inside where all the electronic components are go even smaller. So kind of an aside, a lot of sabersmiths, some of them are paying attention to how thick the final product is. Let me take that back. I'm sure they're all paying attention to it, but I wonder to the extent how much they're thinking about, okay, how much can my users do or act as though they were Jedi or Sith in a movie? And that for me is extremely important. I want there to be, if you pick this up or whatever it is, that you feel kind of pulled into the character that you want to be already just by handling the device. That's what I want. I want to have that very unique effect.
Gotcha.
Now, I know you said your son's 4, but do you ever have him with you when you're working on this? And is he very intrigued with it? Is it catching on with him?
Yeah, that's a great question. Anytime he's in the lab with me, he is quote unquote helping me. And that is a feature I totally want to nurture, a characteristic I want to nurture. Yeah, so to answer your question, yes, and it excites me. Um, I think my favorite dad badge, if you will, is he he goes around and he says, "My dad's a toy maker," and
That's
I,
awesome.
it
That
just
is
hits
awesome.
me right in the feels every time I hear it. Whether he's yeah, just that's what I want. It's that love that you and a shared passion that you can pass on.
Very
He hasn't called you Santa Claus yet.
Well, that would be odd because we're Hebrew, so.
Well, yeah, that could go a little bit. I can
Now
see that.
he may be in trouble with his schoolmates, if he says the jig is up. I don't know.
Tell him it's a secret.
There you
Yeah.
go.
The secret that only you and I know.
Exactly.
Go from there. So what's kind of, are you able to do like props and stuff for movies in the area or movies in Texas, that sort of thing? Have you connected that way yet?
Oh, one of the engines behind this, an individual who's been very good to me, is trying to channel me in that direction, but at present, no. I'm not doing any of that kind of work. Would I turn it down? No. That would just be more exercise, and for me, more playtime.
So what's your standard like order sort of thing that you kind of have as a general overall product?
Can you refine the question?
Okay. If it's not from movie theaters, what generally do you make the products for? Does that help? Like,
I don't want to be rude.
Toy Stories? Are they for?
Oh, okay. So, like, as far as focusing, do you mean like, am I focusing on a particular genre or?
Yeah.
No, not at all. I'm simply starting out with things. So maybe I do understand your question. So I've started with Ghostbusters things. I've started with Ghostbusters simply because that's my favorite. I'll move into Star Wars next. That will probably, if I want everything to a level of refinement, so that probably won't be till next year that I make that move. From there, I definitely want to move into like, I guess, TV shows. Like Doctor Who is obviously huge.
You're speaking my language. Keep going.
So I want to be able to produce the you say the screwdriver, the various screwdrivers. Again, that will just make a person's face light up the moment they hold it, and knowing that it's theirs, and I mean, you can put it on your shelf if you want, but you can play with it. That's what I want people to know.
So people can order this stuff on your website, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Which Greg has already put in the comments for those watching.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Now,
Thank
you said Ghostbusters, and we met a group at SciFicon that is pure Ghostbusters. Have you ever done anything for cosplay groups or any individual cosplayers or?
No, I've only. Short answer is no. The only experience I have with cosplayers is being one myself. I am astonished by other people who put as much work or more than I into a single project, and that just that hits me right in the feels. That's what I want to see. And I think it would be fun if somehow that convention mindset, because I think people are generally more open-minded in a convention scenario than perhaps out on the street. Now, granted, it might be a little weird to see a full-size Bumblebee walking around
I wouldn't
your neighborhood. I think it would be awesome, but I'd like to see there be in society, or I'd like to see a bigger piece of that culture, if you will, move into regular quote unquote society, so that again, it creates a space for people to play, and that it can be natural. It's not the word. The opposite would be taboo. It shouldn't be taboo for adults to play. It shouldn't be a taboo for adults to play spiritedly as though they once did, and especially with their children.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a missed opportunity if that's not happening.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, you get the opportunity to see the world through their eyes. You're almost re-seeing the world again.
Sure.
But, you know, your generation or so off. So you get to investigate the world at the same time.
Oh,
that they
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now,
Absolutely.
with the Star Wars, you have mentioned the Jedi and the lightsaber. Do you use, by chance, like a 3D printer for stuff like Mandalorian or Bounty Hunters? Or
I do use 3D printing tech. I will confess to you that I generally use it only for modeling, because I know that 3D printing tech is very robust, and you can make very, like, nearly indestructible things. But I know I'm still a fan of metal, and if you can make it, light enough that the user doesn't feel overburdened with it. So yes, I use 3D modeling, but it's just a starting place. It's not. There'd have to be a really compelling reason for me to put it in a particular prop.
yeah, now you got me intrigued. Do
I
you
know,
have a
but
forge?
that would seem more real if it's got like the real metallic. It's not like plastic. It would seem more real to me.
I heard two questions. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Mine was, do you have a forge for all the metal and thinning it out and putting
No,
it,
but that's
bending it?
that's next on the list. I have other means of doing all of those things presently. So yeah, and then I'm sorry, your question.
I said for me, it would seem more real that way using metal as opposed to like
Oh yeah,
or the 3D printing, because you'd actually get the feel of
sure,
the metal of the saber and
sure,
the handle. So I think that's cool.
absolutely.
Well, you got me intrigued knowing sword makers and stuff like that with the forge. So that's even more exciting to me.
Well, I'm glad you brought it up because it reminded me of the next stage following broadening out into shows. I want to do. I would have to hire someone on for this particular craft because I don't have the skill set, is making iconic swords. Now, of course, again, that's another saturated market, but one thing that I really want to do differently is to make fantasy battle-ready swords that are I'm sorry, I'm hanging up on words that are not prohibitively expensive.
Yeah, 'cause they can be.
They really are.
Well,
And you tend to get what you pay for in that realm. So there's that. But I don't think it should have to cost an arm and a leg, and I'm using that with all the intended irony. In order.
I got that.
no pun intended.
Well, he said with intended irony too. We kind of doubled it.
To have that blade of legend, and wield it, whether you're doing it as a cosplayer or you're in the zombie apocalypse. I mean, we have to take that seriously.
I don't know.
I
Just
won't go
He-Man
there.
popped into my head. You know?
Amy. Yeah, that's an Amy for the zombies.
Gotcha. So
She's our horror fanatic.
Mm-hmm.
I
Gotta be ready.
yeah.
Can't hurt.
No, it certainly can't. And in the meantime, it's a lot of fun to collect the various swords that you think you may want or need when you're cutting down the hordes of undead.
There you go.
For me, it would be on the reel. So.
Have you ever done the challenge of like you're given a box of stuff and you just need to make something? Whatever you're just given like a box of stuff, or you found a box of stuff at like a yard sale or something, and you're like, okay, what am I gonna make out of this? Do you know what I mean?
I've never heard of that. This is a game?
No.
Okay.
Sometimes, like when I go to yard sales or something, I see like a box of crafts. I'll get okay, what can I do with this to make it? What can I make out of it?
My house is my box of crafts.
Oh, okay. That'll work too.
I mean, that's how I keep. If something's broken or unnecessary, if it can't be recycled, okay, so I throw that out. But if I can take it out or take it apart for the parts, that's good fodder for R&D right there.
That's actually really good.
Yeah, that's how I built my first proton pack in junior high. I collected a lot of loose electronics, and my mother wasn't particularly happy, but she let me take it all apart and reassemble it in a way that looked to me like a proton pack. So
it's a form of recycling.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Better than making a bomb with a chemistry set.
Oh, good Lord, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's true, because I mean, they had them back in my day.
So I'm not going to comment on that one either, but keep going. I'm going to pass over that.
Nothing like making your own fireworks.
Kids, do not try this at home. Disclaimers going up. Trevor's like, been there, done that.
Love it.
I mark it explicit anyway.
There you go. Just avoid the censors altogether.
Trust me, we need it sometimes.
I'm sure.
This is true.
Now, we talked before the show, and you're actually going to be a vendor at Comic Palooza.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, are you going to be wearing any of the stuff that you have made?
Well, naturally, it wouldn't be any fun if I didn't do that. I'm looking forward to it.
Vendors, you can't.
No, I wouldn't do it if I couldn't at least wear the stuff. I mean, it would be like taking a child out to a park and saying, okay, now just sit there and watch everyone else play and have a good time.
Make me cry.
That's so wrong. And I would not go if I couldn't at least wear, all of the Ghostbuster accoutrement and get into character.
I mean, that's the whole play scenario we were just talking about.
Exactly. And somewhere between Dan Aykroyd and Egon Spengler, Harold Ramis, that's only a stone skip away for me, for my personality anyway. So,
unfortunately, I can't wear my costumes at conventions because it just so happens that all my swords are actually real swords.
Yeah, they're pretty strict about that.
With good reason, because not everybody has controls. So,
but
all my swords are real, so I get it. I get it.
It gets depressing a little.
Right, Trev? We have one of each.
So I do have my Western outfit. Of course, I can't bring a real gun, so that ain't going to happen. But do you know where you're going to be at Comic Palooza?
I do not yet. I'm hoping they kind of just let me walk around, to be honest. That would be more fun than having to stand. But I should find that out pretty quickly.
So are you going to have a booth?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you can do a little bit of both, kind of walk around.
That's what I'm hoping. I mean, it seems like if I can get more interaction, the better it will be.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. FaceTime. So instead of waiting for people to come, I want to show them what's out there, and what I'm offering. So
I can let you know that is a huge building.
Well,
So
no one's gonna convince. I mean, and no one's gonna be more enthusiastic about my product than I am, right? So I
this
need
is
to
very
go
true.
share that, and let people know why I think it's important.
Well, and everybody loves cool stuff. I know last year I ran across the 505 first because they had this robot that was literally going through, and they were using it by remote control. I mean, if there's
Nice.
something that's going to catch their attention, like you walking around with a real proton pack, are you kidding me?
Mhm.
Like, hey, come talk to me.
Yeah.
I know I
Yeah.
would.
I'm. Thank you. I'm very happy with the prototype product, and I'm very excited about the to market product that will be soon available. So
Well, we
yeah.
were talking about your top 10 before we started because, like I said, I'm going to visit one of mine this weekend, and I may be able to tuck super heavy into Comic Palooza one day to get one of my other holy grails. Thanks. Just slid that one in there. But Sean Astin is this weekend. Who is, say, we'll give you your top 5. Who's your top 5 and your top 10 want to meet?
Okay. I have been thinking about this. I think we can fill out. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Or yeah, we can fill out all the positions by. I'd
Chris?
like to see the whole cast of Fringe. I'd like to meet all of them and
That's
get their autographs. Yeah. That's a show that was vector defining for me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I loved it. I felt it was ill-fated as far as not being given a few more seasons, but other than that, I loved it.
Firefly, perfect example of some not given enough seasons.
Yep.
Mhm.
There's a few others like that too.
Mm-hmm. I'm just glad that Stranger Things has made it into 4 and it's heading toward 5. So I'm happy.
Are you guys caught up?
Oh yeah, I am.
Okay.
The day it came out, my husband and I stayed up till a little bit after midnight watching them all. No, we got them all.
I'm very excited. Go ahead.
I can't wait.
I got rid of Netflix for now. I had a bunch.
Okay.
I had a bunch happen, so I basically got rid of everything except for basically Amazon and Paramount.
Mm.
So right now I'm watching Bar Rescue.
Gotcha. I can't wait for July. That's all I'm saying.
For what?
July 1st.
Oh yes, yeah. Don't call me. I will be busy.
We tell
The shop will be closed. No orders will be taken.
Leave ahead of time. Don't bother trying to get a hold of us. Everything's silenced until we'll watch it from the beginning too. Like a day or two before, we'll start watching them all.
I can tell you.
You got to.
I can tell you. Come November, I'm probably going to hook up the Disney back up, and I'm going to start watching Willow.
I want to see that. Willow and what
Willow
was the other one?
2.
Oh, and Obi-Wan Kenobi?
And I'll catch up on Obi-Wan.
Oh, I'm behind on Obi-Wan.
But basically, when November comes out, because I'm sure The Mandalorian won't be far behind because it usually comes out within late year or whatever. So I'll get Kenobi, Willow, and probably The Mandalorian all at the same time. And then I can watch the other stuff that I've missed in between. So that's my goal, basically. Because I don't think, all right, Kenobi ends what? This coming Friday?
I have no idea.
Why pay 3 more months to watch nothing until Willow comes out? So I'm going to do it all at once. And of course, I'll binge watch everything. So I'll be done within 2 days.
And Lord willing, it won't be 100 and something degrees come November, so you actually have a reason to stay inside.
Goodness.
If it is, that's the perfect time to watch everything.
Truth.
Provided we're not ducking hurricanes at that point, but yeah, that's okay.
Also that.
Hurricane season ends before November, doesn't it? I thought it was October where hurricane season
I think it's reached into November.
Yeah, we've had tornadoes into November and December.
Tornadoes aren't hurricanes.
But still, you got to duck them.
April and May are usually the months for tornadoes here.
Hmm. We've had them as late as December though. Before I remember one year we had
And
them.
usually hurricane season starts in May, and I think it actually ends in September.
Technically starts in June and it ends end of September, beginning of October. Yes.
So
There's strays here and there, but yeah. And then tornado is generally March through the end of June. And that's very rare, so usually it's the end of May.
and with this heat right now, we don't, with the high pressure right over us, we have nothing to worry about right now.
Well, no, except for melting. You don't have to worry about
Well,
melting.
10 days.
I already replaced 4 tires. I mean, come on now.
We actually, I'm not kidding. We went and picked up my stepson and his girlfriend down in Houston's airport. We almost blew a tire because everything was so hot. The heat tire kept
Oh
going.
wow.
And a bubble came out of it, and we almost blew a tire because of it. And we couldn't get it to cool down.
Ooh.
That's terrible.
This is just not right.
It is
Kinda scary.
transgressively hot out.
It's just wrong. All I'm saying is it's wrong. It's as wrong as meeting somebody with plexiglass. That's all I'm going to say.
You're gonna get us in trouble.
Shh. But I will be at Fan Expo this weekend, and we will be interviewing all sorts of people and making people happier by interviewing them and giving them exposure this weekend.
That's always a good thing.
Yes, but I'm excited. If we do go to Comic Palooza, I will make sure to try to find you as well. And
Please do. Yeah.
That's going
I'd
to be
love that.
super fun.
I'm definitely going to try to find you because I'd love to see whatever you're going to wear that day, whether it be the Proton Pack or whatever. But have you done other conventions?
San Japan. I've done.
I've never heard of it. Where's that at?
I'm at San Antonio. It's a rather large one, but it's been a while. It's been a minute since I've been to that one.
I just saw a new one today, and I can't think of it now. And it's around San Antonio in the Hill Country. It's like their 4th one, and this one is actually like cowboys and aliens.
Oh, that would be fun.
That's cool. I would totally go to that one.
I would too.
Starts with a B.
I'll
Bane.
put my I have a replica from the OK Corral gun. That's what I would use.
Nice.
Let's see if I can find that real quick.
I'm just fascinated at how a prop maker's mind works when they see stuff. My brain doesn't work that way. Mine is how can I play with this, and yours is how can I put it together. And so that just fascinates me.
I think it's both. The how can I put it together comes much later. You know, there's an artistic process, and you really have to take something that is proto-conceptual, make it a concept, and then the monumentally difficult part is taking that concept and say, okay, well, what things do I have available to me such that I could make something that is corresponding to this concept.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, when I was a kid, it was what electronics could I get away with taking apart, you know, and put them, you know, together in such a way to make it a proton pack.
Uh-huh.
And that was difficult. How to say, what I'm doing now is just as difficult as what I did then for different reasons. Is there more technical prowess? Yeah, I have that now. But with all that knowledge comes a lot more things to account for, new problems to solve. And that does require a methodology, but it is not, I have found it is generally not a straight line. It's not a linear path. And you have to, go ahead.
I'm sorry. So you mentioned your 4-year-old. Do you like your tester to see if it's durable enough?
I hadn't thought about that. It's not a bad idea. um, if I'm building things right, it won't matter, because I have every intention of throwing things on the ground, and I have, beating things up to see heuristically, okay, what kind of abuse can this thing suffer? Now, if it were something that I made for, say, his age group, oh yeah, I would totally put on him and say, go nuts, no restrictions.
It sounds like fun.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's a great idea. I hadn't thought of it, but yeah, for me, as far as like props directed toward adults, I'm gonna put what I would call adult abuse into it, and to see what to expect from that. And then I guess kids. I guess that Alphonse can take over my chief role as field testing. Yeah, quality control. Yes. I like that.
You can be the quality control executive.
Mm-hmm.
Or executive of quality control. There you go.
Mm-hmm. Kids department.
Okay.
Younger generation.
Mm-hmm. I found it.
Younger generation.
It's called Bantucky Con. It is in it is in Bandera, Texas, and that is the cowboy capital of the world. And it's Cowboys and Aliens, and it's October of 2022.
That sounds interesting.
Sounds like fun. But will they let you take your gun?
Well, they can probably take my replica.
Yeah, replica. I actually know somebody that can make replicas that actually look very realistic.
Mm-hmm.
So
I said mine's a replica from the OK Corral, and it looks like a real one.
Nice.
And it's heavy as a real one too.
Whose gun?
I don't know.
Well, you gotta know whose gun it was.
No, it's upstairs, and I haven't been up there in about a month. So I sort of forget what's up there.
I hope not the shower.
No. The only thing upstairs is my office or the tree house. And it has like all my autograph stuff and all my herbs and oils and all that, and books and stuff, which makes me sad. I haven't been up there for a while, but I'll get up there when I get healed.
But yes, my job is basically to find conventions wherever, and that being, it looks like their fourth one, but I had never heard of it. But I will find these conventions for people.
I have never heard of that one either, but it sounds like a blast.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can even go as an alien in a cowboy outfit. Just
to really mix it up.
Yeah, just to have fun.
Go as the Predator wearing a cowboy hat.
Oh, I like that one.
You could go as a zombie. You could go as you can have so much fun with that.
Mm-hmm. So
I could go as Annie Oakley's zombie because she's dead.
We got it.
Okay. That was good stuff.
Ghostbuster with cowboy hat.
There you go.
Definitely.
What other conventions do you plan on going to? Do you plan on going to any of the smaller ones, or? Yeah, as many as I can. That's the short answer. Because the vision is there, everything is there. It's just a matter of putting it in front of people's faces now. So not just conventions, but podcasts, or if anyone will feature me, any social media cred would be great. So and conventions are just wonderful because that's like vacation. It's work and vacation.
A kid in a toy store.
What is your handle online?
My handle online, I have a few. Which might you be referring to?
Whatever. If somebody's trying to find you a certain social media, how are they going to find you?
Oh, They should look up my lab, Elric Alchemy.
Okay, just go there.
Mhm. But I do have a a business line which I don't have memorized. Sorry. So, if the audience may be interested, I take orders at the following number: 512-774-5095.
You say
And
that
then,
much?
yeah, 512-774-5095.
Okay.
And then also by email, chris@elricalchemy.com.
And you spell that
IC.
ELRICCHEMY.
ALCHEMY, correct.
Okay, awesome.
There you go. For orders, that's been posted.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful.
And you have
Thank
to
you.
say everything that they can order? Or?
Say again?
So is it specific things that they have to order, or can they say do special?
Right now we're sitting in Ghostbusters world, so only Ghostbusters orders are being accepted presently.
For now.
And
For now.
Soon, Star Wars, I think you said next year.
Star Wars probably about next year. And then I'll be moving into various shows. And then following that, hopefully, I'll take on a swordsmith.
So I can't do a quick order for a little Stargate for Michael Shanks to sign.
I'm afraid not.
DJ for her 50th birthday. That would be awesome.
I've actually seen some of those little Stargates that they have. They look kind of cool.
Yeah, they do.
Ones.
Yeah, we might just take our Stargate box and have them sign the Stargate video box.
Oh, there you go.
That would be cool.
Well, I'm excited because this weekend I am doing, for those who missed it, Fan Expo Dallas. So I'll be floating around, so you get some lives popping up onto the Con Hours page. Chris, you're absolutely fascinating to talk to.
Thank you. You're too kind.
If we are at Comic Palooza, I will make sure to look you up. And if you're at Comic Palooza, make sure to find him. I'll probably be walking around with a Proton pack.
Yes,
definitely. And Tuesday, as you know, we will be talking everything Comic Palooza.
Yay.
Mombirella. Good Lord, I can't speak. Will be joining us for Tuesday's show at 11 a.m. And we are not having a show that week because I am going to be at Chaotic Freedom Celebration, which is having their first Comic Con in Lake Jackson.
Okay. Very
So
cool.
we got back-to-back shows.
So yes, Chaotic Freedom Celebration is a Comic-Con. So
Yes.
making that very clear.
Yep. So we have Fan Expo, Chaotic Freedom Celebration. Then we're going to get back into the show for a couple weeks. Then we're going to have Comic Palooza. And then we'll have the show for a couple of weeks. And I'm not confirmed yet, but I'm working on media for Anime Houston.
Nice.
And then we have Comic Conroe. And is that it for the year? Did we ever figure that out?
I think for right now, that's where we're
No,
sitting.
September. Anime Oklahoma.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Yep. September 9th and 11th. Does that sound right? 10th, 11th, 12th? The weekend of the 11th. Whatever the weekend of the 11th is.
September 9th, 10th, and 11th?
I think so. I know the 11th is in there. That's in Tulsa?
Yeah, you're killing. No, it's in Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City. Okay, got it.
It's the 9th, 10th, and 11th.
So I was right the first time. Yay.
So
That already happened, so I'll take it.
I think that will be it for us for the year for conventions. And then next year will be a very big year.
But then we are also working on something, or at least Greg is working on something that's going to probably scare the pants off of me, but we're working on it for October.
Yes. Well, we've told everybody.
Okay, I'm just saying for those who may not know.
Hence why Anubis said ghosts. Where?
So
that will be a good hint, but I'm working on it.
If you don't know it, you need to go back and watch some of the past ones. Because he's really planning on scaring me. And
all our shows are on YouTube. We The only shows that we don't have really generalized or categorized is our show on Tuesday at 11.
But that's just fun.
Unless we have a guest.
Yeah. And otherwise, it's just fun. We just come and have fun and play.
Definitely. That's our BS day.
Exactly. So for those looking to learn more about Chris Elric.
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 Full Metal Alchemist. Same thing.
I'm just going to spell it. ELRICALCHEMY.com. And you can find out everything about that. And the phone number to get a hold of him for orders is 512-774-5095.
And by the way, there is some stuff that he has on the site. I did look at it. So check out his stuff and check him out at Comic Palooza. And if you're a cosplayer and you love Ghostbusters cosplay, right now would probably be the time.
Yeah.
Chris, you've been a very fun treat to talk to. Appreciate your time.
Thank you for your generosity. It's been a pleasure.
And we will catch everyone. She'll have shows this weekend. We'll catch everybody on Tuesday at 11 a.m.